she didn't have money, obviously, and then she got the treatment that she got because to her family, she is the bank card, she is the ATM, she is the person that brings financial stability into the family. And how dare she goes home without any money, which
Welcome to an all-new episode of Looks and Wisdom Sundays with me, Oluchi B.
Hey guys, and welcome to another exciting episode of Looks and Wisdom with me, Oluchi B. Please say the B, aka the elusive pundit. Honey, how are you feeling? I am feeling good. How's everybody at the back?
We alright.
Okay, that's good. So today's episode is titled Trending Topics, Brenda Ngxoli, the case of a karmic narcissistic mother, the curse of the breadwinner child, black tax, and survivor's guilt. So last year I started this trending topic where I actually did essay type YouTube videos, but I decided this year I wanted to give my own opinion on the trending topics instead of following the essay type style. And Brenda Ngxoli has been trending for the past week, and it is something that a lot of us can actually relate to in terms of the relationship dynamic we have with our families, we have with our mothers, based on our standing as their children. There are some of us who are made to be breadwinners out of a necessity from the family, and some of us do struggle from survival's guilt. A lot of us have been made to pay black tax to our family, and a lot of us have karmic mothers, narcissistic mothers. So I wanted to speak about the Brenda story from that perspective. So on today's episode, I really wanted to focus on the burden that a lot of us are given by our families to be breadwinners. I am going to play this clip that I got from the McG channel, where Brenda is actually talking about a situation where she was in a job and she wasn't getting paid, or it was a toxic environment, and she decided to stick it out because of her family. So let's roll the clip and then we'll get into my discussion points.
So what do you do? Because you're also like young and you're also like trying to work for your mother and your sister. You've got like responsibilities. I used to say that I'm not a breadwinner, I'm a crumb winner.
So how many of us are breadwinners in our life? I know I've been a breadwinner, and there's been instances where I've suffered because of that. And the reason why I resonated so strongly with Brenda Ngxoli's story is because I've been in a similar situation. The year was 2015. I had just started working. I think I was doing my internship. And as per everybody, I was like a breadwinner to my family. I used to send money every month, and then life happens where you don't have. And I remember clearly that year I didn't have any money at all in my bank account. Actually, I was sitting at a negative, and I didn't want to go home that December. I wanted to stay here in Joburg because obviously I didn't have money, and every time I went home, I used to go home, give everybody my money, and then they do what needs to be done. And so the reason why I didn't want to go that year is because I didn't have money. I didn't know that was sort of like the main basis that my family saw me for at the time. And so I just felt guilty for not even going there because it was December and all of us go home in December. So fortunately for us, I had this friend named Sims at the time, and she was also heading to the Eastern Cape, and a former friend of mine and her ex-husband helped us to get petrol money to actually take the trip. And then I went home, and then I got home and I told everybody I didn't have money, and behold, this is what my mom said. Abanye abantwana xa begodukayo bafika besindwa zii-plastics zaka-Shoprite, uzothini wena apho ungaphethanga nto. Loosely translated, other children, when they go home, they bring in groceries. So what are you doing here without any groceries? And fortunately for me, I saw that for exactly what it was. And I was like, okay, so I've always thought about the fact that I didn't bring any value to my family outside of my financial giving to them. And that day it was solidified that really they don't see me outside of just a human being that's supposed to give them money. And I literally changed my bus ticket and went home and came back to Joburg immediately after that, because I was like, there's no way I'm going to stay. They don't see me without money, so I'm not going to press the issue. Similar to what happened to Brenda Ngxoli. So she went home and she didn't have money, obviously, and then she got the treatment that she got, because to her family, she is the bank card, she is the ATM, she is the person that brings financial stability into the family. And how dare she goes home without any money, which is exactly how her relationship with her family was. She was sort of like the breadwinner. I did watch a lot of the clips that she was actually in, like a lot of the previous interviews where she spoke about her family and her mother. So my first talking point is the narcissistic karmic mother. So Brenda's mom fits this mold perfectly. I will give you other celebrity examples where that karmic narcissistic mother is. Oprah Winfrey and her relationship with her mother. Her mom didn't see her even when she had the money. Tina Turner, her mom didn't see her even when she had the money. Myself, my family didn't see me outside of money. And Britney Spears also suffered from the same thing of having karmic parents and narcissistic parents who believe just because they gave birth to you, just because they gave you a small amount of money for you to go to varsity, for you to get a job, they feel entitled to your sweat, to your hard work, which is the same thing that Brenda Ngxoli actually has. It's a relationship where her mom, a domestic worker, worked hard to send her to Model C schools. She calls herself a sacrificial lamb because she was part of the first group of black children that were actually sent to multiracial schools. So because of that, the queen has always felt like she needed to do for her family. So that's where her problem came. She felt because her mother did, she had to give back, which is then accentuated by her mother. And one of her biggest fears that she's always had in her life were around the fact that she didn't want to tarnish her reputation. So when she became famous, her family actually weaponized her biggest fear, which was to be defamed in the public space. In the clips where she's arguing with her mom, she actually speaks about the fact that you are defaming my character by spreading these lies that I'm abusing you. And I looked at an interview she did with Annalem Doda back in the day, and she actually did speak about the fact that back in the day they used to have this conversation with her mother about how they had to contain themselves and how they didn't want to give too much to the media to tarnish her brand. So her mom knew that the brand tarnishment was a sore point for her, and throughout her life they used to threaten her. Every time she didn't do anything, they used to threaten about going to the papers. So the narcissistic parent, whether it's a mother for you, whether it's a dad for you, will always find the point or a point where they know you wouldn't want to go that far. And for Brenda, it was the defamation of character. For me, it was really about making sure that my family was being taken care of. I didn't want to be in Johannesburg living the life, and then when you see my family, it's like, oh, they don't have anything. So I wanted to make sure that my family was on par with with the lifestyle that I was living in Joburg. So narcissistic parents will make you feel less than, and they will always try to put you down, even though you're the one that's giving, even though you're the one that's providing. They will always try to put you down. And another thing I wanted to add to that, people on Twitter were like, oh, but why didn't she have her own house if she made this money? Brenda Ngxoli was working for her family through and through. She had that trauma of having to work for her family. She built the house. The house that you guys see on Twitter trending in the video is actually the house that she built. Back in the day when she decided to take a break from entertainment, she actually went home to build a house, have farm, have livestock. She had upwards of like 100 sheep and stuff like that. And then when she had to come back to Johannesburg to work, she left that to her mom and her sister. And guess what they did? They literally ran the whole business to the ground, which is why it doesn't exist now. And the only thing that exists is the house that she actually built. So having a narcissistic mother means that you have a parent that forces you to do things even if they are out of your will. The second thing I wanted to talk about is the curse of the breadwinner. Everybody and their mama that I encounter in Joburg that comes from nothing has that burden of having to give back. Even for me, I had that burden because I was in Joburg sending money home. Joburg sending money home to a point where I accumulated loans because I was like, oh, I can't let them go without. I can't let them go without. And the reason why I call it the curse of the breadwinner is because really they make you be the man of the house. Everything that happens, they call you about. And they make you forget that you exist and you can exist as a separate entity away from them. So it is a curse. If you are a person, a young person that has to give back to your parents in the form of a breadwinner where everything sits on your shoulders, you don't have fun, it's a curse because why are you there? And a lot of us actually stay with this curse of being a breadwinner because we have something that we call the survivor's guilt. You made it. You are sitting at a different tax bracket than your siblings, than your mother, so you feel like you're supposed to. A lot of successful people actually suffer from survivor's guilt. But I wanted to talk about another thing, black tax. I saw a video by one of the Xhosa actors. I'm actually going to link it below as well. When he was talking about the fact that black tax is a good thing. And as a person who's been through the whole black tax chain, it's not a good thing. As a child who is born, you shouldn't have any obligation to the parents that born you. Is that born you?
Birthed you?
You shouldn't have any obligation to the parents that birthed you because it was their choice to fornicate. It was their choice to get pregnant and have this child. So you don't have any obligation towards your parents. Black tax is actually the same as being extorted for being alive. And so black tax is really a negative for me. It is what holds people like me back, because up until 2 years back, I was still paying loans that I got. Not for me, honey, I'm not here living la vida loca. I was doing it for my family and it was for them, and I still paid those loans up until like 2 years back. And fortunately for me, they're done. And that is what the curse of the black tax is. It's a negative thing. If you feel you should be obligated to pay black tax or to be a breadwinner to your family, maybe you need to find another family. The last point I wanted to talk about is the survival's guilt. Why doesn't she leave her family? Why is she staying despite the fact that they don't want her? They're kicking her out of the place. I used to feel guilty for surviving, and then I realized, no man, it was my own hard work that got me here, and we will never, ever, ever in our lives have the same path, even with your siblings. And sometimes I feel sorry for my siblings because they have to watch my YouTube channel and they have to listen to me speak about these things pertaining to our parents. But one thing I know for a fact is the fact that we never had the same experience with our parents. Down to, I found out when my sister passed away in 2021 that I was the only person that was doing. In my whole life, in my whole existence, I actually thought that because all of my siblings were working, all of them had jobs, we were all chiming into the pot for our family. When my sister passed away, everybody came with nails done, hair done, everything did. Me, myself, and I actually just got on a plane, went to the Eastern Cape as soon as I could. I didn't do my nails, and I remember thinking, oh, people had time to do nails. I just got on the bus, and that was that. Everything that was happening in my house, I felt the obligation to go and solve it. And it's been 2 years since I've absolved myself out of that situation, and you can too. And how do you do that is for you to understand the predicament that you are actually in. Are you being made to be a breadwinner in your family? Do you have to give money to your family in the form of black tax to help back? Do you have survival's guilt? And is your family narcissistic enough for them to actually believe that you should? Then if you answered yes to one of those things, you actually are suffering. Yeah, you actually are suffering. And for you to get out of that is for you to actually be honest about the fact that you are stretching yourself beyond your means for your own family. And I remember back in the day when white people used to talk about, oh, I don't speak to my family anymore, I've excommunicated it. I remember Mariah Carey as well. She called her family ex-family members, ex-brother, ex-sister, ex-mother. And it was because she had to carry this burden all her life, and she finally liberated herself from them. And they will never see you for what you see yourself. They will always see you for that person that you were. So I think that was my main talking points, just to get you guys to understand context, and most importantly, how to save yourself. Remove yourself. It is never going to go away. So sometimes it is better to just separate, which I think is what Brenda actually needs for herself in her life. It's what I've done. I no longer come and save my family. I no longer give money to my family, and I am no longer the breadwinner, the problem solver, the person who has to do it. I don't even suffer from survival's guilt anymore. I'm here because of my own hard work. And I think that's it. So comment down below, have you ever been in a situation where you are the breadwinner, you have a narcissistic mother or family members that feel like you should be doing for them? Do you suffer survivor's guilt? Or you just want to chime in on your experience? Maybe you've never been on the side of you having to provide for your family. So let me know, and let's get this conversation going. I will be linking all my research videos. Otherwise, thank you guys. Let me know what you think. See you guys next time.